Information systems or IS audit planning is essential for ensuring that organizations operate securely, efficiently, and in compliance with legal and strategic requirements. In this slides, we'll focus on two core elements that drive effective audit planning: the influence of laws and regulations and the approach of risk-based auditing. Effect of laws and regulations. Every organization, whether it's a small startup or a global corporation, has to play by the rules. These rules dictate how we use, store, and secure data. And for some industries, like stock exchanges or central banks, these rules are super strict. Consider a financial institution like a central bank, which must comply with global standards such as Basel III. These regulations demand stringent reporting practices to ensure data accuracy and timeliness. Non-compliance can result in significant legal and financial repercussions. Compliance ensures secure and ethical operations. If you think of your organization like a car, these laws are the brakes that keep it from crashing. Role of the IS auditor. I like to think of them as the navigators on a ship. The captain might steer the wheel, but without a good navigator, you risk hitting an iceberg, or in this case, regulatory fines and data breaches. An IS auditor's job is to figure out which laws apply to the organization, make sure the systems and processes follow those laws, and document everything along the way. For example, let's say you're running an e-commerce company. You've got GDPR for your European customers and CCPA for California residents. It's the auditor's role to check if your data handling practices, like how you get user consent or delete data when requested, are up to standard. Without them, you're sailing blind. Risk-based audit planning. Here's where it gets interesting. Not all risks are created equal. Some are big, like a hospital's patient records being exposed. Others are small, like forgetting to update your printer's firmware. A risk-based audit is like focusing on the leaks in your roof instead of spending time repainting the walls. This approach isn't just practical, it's efficient. By zeroing in on high-risk areas, auditors can make the most of their time and resources. And honestly, in a world where everything feels like a risk, prioritizing is the only way to stay sane. Imagine auditing a hospital. Would you spend your time checking the cafeteria software or securing the systems that hold patient medical records? The answer is obvious, right? That's risk-based auditing in action. Business risks and audit focus. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Business risks. These can be financial, regulatory, operational, or even technological. And let's be real, every organization has them. For instance, think of an airline company. Their biggest risk, IT system downtime. Imagine their booking system crashing for just an hour. That's chaos at every airport and millions in lost revenue. An IS auditor's job here is to figure out how to minimize that risk. Maybe by ensuring there's a solid disaster recovery plan or backup system in place. The goal isn't to eliminate risk entirely, because that's impossible. It's to make sure the risks you take are worth it and well managed. Risk-based audit approach. Now, let's break down the risk-based audit process into 5 simple steps. 1. Gather information. First, learn everything about the business, past audits, financial data, and any relevant regulations. It's like getting to know a new friend before giving them advice. 2. Understand internal controls. Figure out what safeguards the organization already has in place. This is where you separate what's working from what isn't. 3. Perform compliance tests. Check if the organization is sticking to its policies and whether those policies are reliable. 4. Perform substantive tests. Dive deeper with detailed checks, like analyzing account balances or transaction records. 5. Conclude the audit. Finally, wrap everything up with recommendations that the organization can actually act on. Each step builds on the last, and the goal is to not just find issues, but also provide solutions. So, to wrap it all up, we've seen how laws and regulations provide the foundation for ethical and secure operations. As auditors act as guides, making sure organizations don't stray off course. And a risk-based audit approach ensures we focus on what matters most, making the entire process efficient and impactful. So we can tell compliance and risk management aren't just checkboxes to tick. They're tools for building trust, protecting assets, and driving success.